Okay, I think we've started now. I've just started to record. Yeah, I think we're right. So let's have a try. Okay. So, hello everybody. We're getting set up here. We've had some technology challenges for a few minutes and it should be fine. We don't know yet, but we'll have a go. So as I said earlier on today, Therese is joining me today to do a longer session. We reckon it'll be about 50 minutes or thereabouts. We don't know yet until we actually do it. But it gives you something longer from the very short ones that I've given you so far. So what I'm going to do is what we did last time. I'm going to pop you onto share so that you can see my screen. And then I'll talk to us through the different postures and we'll see how it works. All right. Okay, there's Therese. She's appeared now. Good. Okay, so this is a sequence that will reach to every place, as they often do. There's a bit more challenge to it. There's some of the postures you haven't done before with me, but they're not difficult postures. So have a bash. Maybe have if you need to have the sheets from me, just let me know. Send me a WhatsApp, and I'll send you that this thing that I usually send out, give to people when you're in my class. So we'll get going. You can see Therese there is in reverse corpse pose. So it's just lying down, hands stretched out in front of her. Settling down. Remember what I've told you about experimenting with whether you like to have wider legs apart or closer. It all depends on the size of the sacrum inside there in your pelvis. And we're just using this as a centering time. So quite different to a normal practice where we sit in centered position. And I'm inviting Therese just to focus on her breath and be more aware of the breath lifting your back since the front squashed on the mat. And what I would be seeing if I was actually in a class with Therese here would be her back ribs lifting and falling, just slightly. They tend to be a lot tighter and more stuck in our front ribs. But it's good to send the breath through to the back. And noticing, as we normally do, is there anything in the body that feels a bit tighter or a bit more flowing than normal? And of course, my favorites, where in the body do you feel nothing at all? Particularly if that nothing at all feeling is numbness. And then just very gently sending the breath into those parts. And just begin to invite them to wake up. And then from reverse corpse pose, moving into the Sphinx pose. So Therese is coming up. She's got her elbows under her shoulders. And then I'm asking you to go into the frog pose or the half frog pose. So working into our hip joint. And just taking a breath into that hip joint. Then straightening your leg again and doing the same with the other side. Right. Good. And straightening your legs again. Coming through into the half cow face pose, we'd call it shoelace normally. And with this one, you've got one leg straight out in front of you. You've got the other leg coming over the knee and bending down hands to floor. Good, nice and slow, Therese, that's lovely. So Therese is doing it in a way that she can really feel where the little pulls are, where the flow is, and being aware of her body as she moves in the different postures. The sequence is based on a Yin sequence, so normally we would be holding these for 2, 3, 4, even 5 minutes each. So makes it a long practice, although you tend to do a lot of postures. Okay, Therese, if you can come out of that and do it on the other side now. Good. Nice. Arms up, dropping your hands to the floor, folding down. Lovely. Couple of breaths while you're down there. You know, in my class, I like you to take at least 2 breaths so that the pose can have time. It's a bit like yeast, it starts to work in the body. And then coming back up out of the posture and sending yourself back into reclining hero pose. So you're going to be lying on your back. You've got your right shin and foot up at the side. Now, other way, Therese, you're doing it to the outside. That's it. Sometimes it's easier to go up and come back down into it, but you've managed nicely. So this can feel uncomfortable, and if you have funny knees, then not the best one to try. You can just be lying and taking the hands back over your head. But for those of you who've got the thigh muscles to stretch, the knees that are not going to go out of alignment, this is fine, but that's long enough. So coming out of that now and doing the other side, please. Good. Good. Arms back. See how it's a nice heart opener as well. You can see Therese's ribs have come up, diaphragm has expanded, so giving her lungs more room to breathe in. And considering that we've got to take care of our lungs at the moment, this is a nice one to do. We want to do a lot of lung and rib expansion, so there's room. Getting more oxygen into the lungs. Yeah. Okay, coming back. And then this time we're going to go into the same reclining pose, but with a little variation. Going to be lifting the knee up. You've still got your right foot tucked back. We're going to start on the right side again. Right foot tucked to the outside. Reclining hero. Therese, can you take your right foot, just as you did with the last posture, tuck it up by your hip. That's it. And then it's your left knee that you got bent. Perfect. That's it. Good. So a little bit more complicated, a bit more things going on here. Not the same heart opening with this, but working back with the pelvis again and the hip joints. Okay, coming out of that one and going into the other side. Left foot up by your hip, that's it. Good. Right foot over, holding on to that right knee. Good. Couple of breaths. And then coming out of that one and lying down in reverse corpse pose again, rolling over onto your tummy. Good. And for the people who are watching who don't normally do classes with me, see, I usually take little resting points in between action. It's just to try and remind ourselves to keep coming back to rest. Don't rest. You can't charge up. And then you get to the end of the day really tired. And I know because I keep doing it. So I have to remind myself as well. Right. Okay, Therese, if you can sit up now into butterfly, that's where we're going. So you're sitting in what I usually call cobbler. Good. And then arms up in the air. Good. And taking a nice deep breath in while you're up there and then out as you come down, creating a bit more space. Ooh, there's a very large beetle floating about here. Hands round your feet, head down to the instep. Good. Good. Maybe 3 breaths here will be nice. It's a wonderful one for stretching out the lower back. And of course, opening the hips, stretching the inner thighs. And then lifting all the way back up, Therese. Hands up to the sky, straightening those legs out, and then spreading them into a wide straddle pose. That's it. Good. And then arms in the air and coming down again. See if you can keep that nice straight back for as long as possible. Good. And then hands to the floor, head lowered. And this time, just walking your hands back up, straighten the top of your body. Bringing your legs together and rolling back. And then knees up to your chest. And just give yourself a little bit of rock and roll, massaging the lower back and stretching it out. Good. Straightening out your right leg. Keeping your left leg up and into happy baby. Holding that leg with your hand, that's it. And you could just move that leg around. Just work back into your hip joint. Lovely. Stretching and bending. Stretching and bending. Happy baby. Sole of the foot up to the ceiling. Good. Great. And coming out of that and doing the same on the other side. Lovely. Good. Stretching, circling, cycling, happy baby. Good. Nice. And then stretching that leg out on the floor again. Good. And now one that people won't be so familiar with, it's a typical yin pose. It's called the banana pose, and it's just like what it sounds. You have your arms back behind you, and you move both your top of your body to the side and your feet to the side, but you leave your hips and the main part of your torso in the middle where they were. That's it. Banana pose. You can see how much it opens up that outside of the banana. On Therese, it's the side that's distant to us as we watch. Good. And then just breathing into those nicely opened up ribs. For those of you who have been in my class most recently, I often talk about the expanding breath. So we're looking to send a breath that lengthens, that deepens, that widens. And this is particularly about widening and softening up one side. And then if you can move to the other side, Therese. Great. Softening up the other side. Banana pose. It's fun, not too difficult. It's very good for you. So 2 or 3 breaths into that. Lovely. And coming back to reverse corpse pose again. Reverse corpse pose, so you're on your tummy. Good. Good. Taking 3 or 4 breaths here, having a little rest in reverse corpse again. Good. And then bringing yourself to prepare for the Benno bird pose. So for this, you're going to be kneeling. This is also one that people won't be familiar with, but it'd be good to see that sort of horizontal view. So you've got wide knees. Good. You're a bit more upright. So it's more like you're in tall thunderbolt. So coming up into tall thunderbolt. Good. Knees wide apart. I can't see. Can you turn to face the computer? That's good. So if you face that way, that's good. Then we can see what you're doing. Good. Lovely. And then stretching out your right leg to the side. That's it. Good. And then arms to the side like a bird and bending forwards. So you're kind of halfway down, nice flat back. Good. Flying through the air, free as a bird. Good. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Good. Bringing that foot back. And doing the same on the other side. Straightening into tall thunderbolt. Left leg out. Arms up, bird wings. And coming forwards, nice straight back into that half forward fold. Beautiful. Now you look like a bird flying through the air. Now coming out of that, and you're going down into what we've called here seal pose, because that's the yin name for it. We also know it as cobra. Good. So seal pose, that's good. That's nice. Good. So pelvic bones should be touching the mat. And if they don't, just bend your elbows very slightly or more. It depends. And if that feels too much of a challenge for your lower back, just go back into Sphinx again. So I'm thinking particularly here of you, Carrie, because I want to challenge your back that much after the pups have tossed you around all over the place. So seal pose, very nice for people who are natural back benders. Feels good. You're opening up the front, challenging that lower back. Good. And then coming back up into the lunge pose, into the lunge position. So you're coming back up into, that's fine, you know what you're doing. Good. So you're in a low lunge, great. And you're swinging your arms up, taking a nice deep breath in as you go up. Good. And you can just see how that feels to take your right leg, a little bit further back. Go up on your toes to give yourself more of a challenge. I know you have a strong body, you're used to doing this kind of thing. You can lift your knee off the floor. Good. So then you can take yourself up into a higher lunge if your body feels like it. Otherwise, that's fine. Just stay in the low lunge. Okay, Therese, if you can come down from that and do the same on the other side. While you get prepared, I'll just show everybody. Ozzy has arrived to inspect everything. Wouldn't be the same without Ozzy in a yoga class. There you go. Good lad. And Phoebe is just outside the door listening. Nice. So Therese is up into her low lunge again. Good. Again, tucking the toes under, lifting up that back knee, just giving yourself a bit more of a challenge if you want to. And then coming back down again. Good. And you're going to move through into the reclining hero again. Remember, heels back by your hips. That's it. Kind of sitting, dropping down through your heels onto the floor, and then bringing your body back, elbows to the floor. Gorgeous. Nice. Head half back. You know, I don't like to put too much compression into those top vertebrae because of all the nerves that we've got there, not to mention a very big artery. The reclining hero, another great one for opening up the heart, expanding the lungs. And then when you're ready, bringing yourself out of that. It's easier to do if you do it one side and then the other. All depends on how you want to pull yourself up. And then you're going to go forward again into the reverse corpse pose. So we're back into 4 or 5 breaths in reverse corpse, arms out in front of you, or if it's nicer for you, stacked hands, or head on your hands. Taking your 4 breaths. 5, just depends on you. And whenever you're ready, after that last out breath, you're bringing yourself up into the cat. Lifting up your left arm to the ceiling. And looking up at your hand. So you've got a kind of twist going on there. Left hand up to the ceiling, looking up to the left hand. And then take that left hand and thread it underneath your right, behind your right, and you're going into the threading the needle pose now. Good. And then again, inhaling as you come up. Take that left hand all the way up to the sky again and look up. Good. And as you exhale, coming down, thread the needle. Good. And one more time. Inhaling, left arm up, look up. Exhale, right arm through, thread the needle. Great. Back into cat and doing the same with the other arm. Right arm up in the air, slight twist as you look up to it. Good. And then exhale as you come through, thread the needle. And just follow your own breath, Therese. As you inhale, come up. As you exhale, thread the needle. And once more. And then coming back down into your reverse corpse pose again. This time you're going to do a crisscross shoulder stretch. So you've got your hands crossed in front of you. It's almost like you could put your hands round your shoulders. Give yourself a bit of a hug at the top there. That's good. But in the actual pose, you still have your hands on the floor. Get your hands into the right position. Good. You can rest your chin on your hands, so you have your head a little bit up. Or you can have your forehead and use it just as a moment of rest. Let your body soften into each posture. Great. And now coming back and moving yourself up to tall thunderbolt again. So on your knees, body, that's great. Left leg stretched out in front of you. Thanks, Therese. See you nicely. Yeah, that's it. And then stretching up in the air and dropping yourself down over that outstretched leg. It's a side twist and fold. So dropping your left hand down first, left ankle, and then that's it. And then your right arm comes over the top. Good. 2 breaths as you're there. And coming back up into full thunderbolt. Stretching out your right leg. Dropping your right hand down to your foot. And that's lovely. Left arm coming, curving over. Great. And then coming back up and into the animal resting pose. You just move this, both. And the animal resting pose is kind of like deer, although your foot is tucked up a bit further than you would have in deer. That's lovely. And again, you're just bending yourself down over your bent knee. Over the bent knee with the foot to your thigh. Great. There's 3 rounds of breath for this. You're squeezing your abdomen quite a lot in a posture like this, which is really helpful because when you release, all that nice fresh blood comes shooting back in and just kind of refreshes the organs. Coming back up again, other side. Good. And down. Lovely. 3 rounds of breath. And whenever you finish your 3rd out breath, dropping yourself back down in reverse corpse pose again. Breath time, just for that rest. Lovely. Palms out in front, or hands stacked on top of one another. Just let yourself sink down and soften into the mat. Whenever you're ready for your 4th or 5th breath, you're going to come back up into tall thunderbolt again. And you're going to drop your hands back behind you to the camel, but you're going to keep your head more oriented towards the sky, not letting your head go right back. If you can, hands further away from your feet. Your hands are actually on the floor behind you, maybe 4 or 5 inches away. That's it. Good. So you have a stronger stretch and a bigger opening of your ribs. Right. Good. Then coming out of that, again, it would be easier for somebody coming out 1 arm at a time. And then you're going to go forward into the twisted dragon. So it's what I would call baby dragon with your forearm on the floor. So taking one foot forward, great. You're dropping your elbow down in front of your left foot, right. You've got your hand on your right knee and you're looking up. If it's easier for you to have your hand in the air, that's fine. You're dropping down, elbow to the floor. You were right, Therese, as you were. That's it. You can either have your hand like that, or you can drop that right hand down onto your knee. Oh, I see. I've given you the wrong side instructions. Okay, you've sorted yourself out. Good. And then coming up again. Good. And then trying the other side. Good. Your elbow down. Lovely. And then either you can have your hand in the air, if you can just show people what that looks like. Hand in the air, lovely. Or you can have your hand down on that bent knee. The other thing that you can do while you're down there is it's sort of like waggling the wings of the dragon. You can just move that knee backwards and forwards with your hand on it. And it works back into the hip joint. Right. Good. And coming out again. Whenever you're ready. Good. Let's do that one more time on each side. You know, I love my dragons. That's one. Good. You're dropping down with your forearm to the floor, your right elbow bent, your left arm up. This is where I gave you the wrong way around last time. Arm in the air, or arm on your knee, hand on your knee, and then waggling the wings of the dragon. And the other side, coming back up, right leg forward. Good. Nice. Waggling the wings. Lovely. Good. And coming back up again. Coming into cat. And we're going to do what the Yin Yogas, yoginis call the sleeping swan. And in Hatha we would call it sleeping pigeon. So you're bringing your right knee forwards. Sorry, Therese, you're bringing it forwards on the floor. That's it. Yeah, so you're in the pigeon. Good. And you're bringing your hands down to the floor, head to your knee. Lovely. So the foot is tucked into the thigh. Got one long leg stretching out at the back. The other foot, the other leg with the foot touching the thigh. And you fold it over your knee. And again, for those with more dicey knees, I'm thinking here, Jen, just be cautious with this. Come down if it's comfortable enough, just for a breath, and then come out of it again. Okay, Jess, if you can do the other side. That was Phoebe making a comment on things here. Good. And down. Great. Down. And relax. People who can do this quite easily and it's not straining their knees too much, it's a very relaxing posture. And if we were doing this as a full yin class, you would be holding that for, oh, when I was doing my yin training, we were 20 minutes in this. When it came time to sit up, oh, that was something. And then coming back up again. And then you're back down into reverse corpse pose again. And it's rest time. Yep, good. Lovely. So just 2 or 3 breaths. And then you'll be rolling over onto your back. And we're going to do the windscreen wiper pose, but lying down. We normally do the sitting up. We're going to do it lying down this time. Arms right behind you, nice and open. You've opened up the front of your chest. Good. You've dropped your left knee to the floor, and then your right knee to the floor. And then you're just bringing yourself rolling over from side to side, just the same way that we do when we're sitting, but this time we're doing it from lying. Good. Maybe 3 on each side, just rolling from side to side. Good. Lovely. Easing away, opening up the side of the hips, easing into that whole pelvis. And then back to the center and dropping yourself down into corpse pose on your back. Good. 2 breaths. 3 rounds of breath. And then knees up to your chest. Give yourself a bit of a hug. If it's comfortable for you, head to knees. Good. And just rocking and rolling from side to side. For those of you who are not comfortable having your head up, it's fine, just leave your head down. Good. And then taking your hands forward to capture your insteps. You're going to go into, that's it, good, happy baby. And you're just going to stretch out one side and then the other side. So we started by doing this one side at a time. Now we're going to be doing them both together. Good, lovely. Great. And then back to the center again. Head to the floor, keeping both knees up, and then take your, that's it, both knees up, and then take your left ankle over your right knee. So you're doing eye of the needle, but a different variation of it. Good, that's it. Yep. And just let yourself relax into that, opening up your thigh a lot. Good. 3 rounds of breath into this one. Yep, if you need to support your leg, that's absolutely fine. Good idea. And after your 3rd breath, swapping round. Lovely. And after your 3rd breath, dropping your feet to the floor and just rolling yourself up into a centered position. And if you turn around to face the camera, that's the last of those postures in that particular sequence, which as you can see was mainly with the bottom part of the body, which is very yin, we were working on the ligaments and tendons as well as the muscles and bones. So it was a different type of class to what we have had before. There's some new postures there, but I thought they were wonderfully demonstrated by Therese. Thank you. So I have just sent through my recorded Savasana. So for those of you who might be trying this after we've done this, and you want to just switch over to the Savasana, I'll talk you through that. That takes another 15 minutes. For now, we'll finish with this one. We'll say goodbye to the team, Therese, and say thank you very much. Good. I'm going to stop the recording.